Aloha! My name is Amanda Brunel, and I'm here to do my first introductory video about Jack Canfield. But first, I want to wish you a lovely, warm aloha from Hawaii. That's where well, I've been here since 2001. My daughter's half Hawaiian Chinese. And I have Jack's book over here. Here is Mr. Jack Canfield's book that I have read on audio. Just was so motivated and intrigued that I bought the hard copy as well. And I recommend the audio first because it's easy listening, and if it's going to click, it's going to click and motivate you, which is what it's supposed to do. But I would like to start out with a page out of the Practice Aloha with Dr. Wayne Dyer, who is also a fan of the law of attraction, which Mr. Jack Canfield talks about. And Dr. Wayne Dyer has passed away, but he has left us with some very valuable tools and clues to success, which I'm very grateful for. So, let's see. We have cooking an omelet for a friend. That's the first page I opened to, but let's get a message of aloha. Mom and Dad, Henry Capono. Aloha is everything amazing. My mom lived it. She was the best cook in the world, and she always had something cooking on the stove. His dad was the ambassador of aloha. They always had enough for everybody. And let's see where he gets to the heart of aloha. He always felt that Hawaii is the heart of this planet. We live in the middle of the sea. And practicing aloha, cleaning up for fun, no matter what it took, making sure the kids ate, no matter what it took, 24/7, and throwing luau's, which is a very popular Hawaiian tradition, as the baby's first luau is huge, big party, enormous, like 50 to 150 people about, breathing it, loving it, living it, sharing that ohana or family is very important, and we survive with an unconditional love and pride for each other and for our sense of place. We have our problems like everyone else, but we overcome them and get the most out of our lives as we practice aloha. And that aloha is the breath of life. Hello, goodbye, and I love you. And the story of the aloha was when the white man came to Hawaii, they would not kiss on the cheek with the breath of life when they were greeting. And the locals, the Hawaiians, found that a bit offensive, a bit odd, and so that's where different people experiencing different things. Some people, but that's the breath of life, the breath of aloha, the greeting, the love in the greeting. Where there's so many more people on the mainland that aren't related that you don't really want to kiss and touch everybody, and we get that. But that is what we have here, and I'm very grateful for that. So I just wanted to start out with a short list of, because I can go on and on, so I made a little outline of a few things I wanted to cover about my first experience with Jack Canfield. He's the man who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, which is a wonderful book I have yet to read. I've inquired with a lot of people, and it's very popular. I've flipped through it, but I've had about pretty much a 10-year divorce. Not exactly 10 years, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I moved here for college in 2001. I became a taro farmer's wife, had a child, joined the Air Force, not in that order, and got into computers, and then psychology. And I was sexually harassed in the military after I received an honorable retirement, public commendation, It was very extravagant, actually. How much, how how nice they were, and and so I just and then I joined psychology because I felt, you know, I really want to get to know people better, and I was sensing something with my family history, which Jack Canfield said he came from abusive parents, and my daughter's dad was pretty very absent, which I believe I knew in hindsight. He was going to be that way. And then and then I went to, as leaving the Air Force, my therapist said to get my mother out of my life, who came to help me get away from my daughter's dad. He has a drug problem. It was saving. And it's a common thing, repeating the pattern of your parents. And then, but my mother, when I told her, she always speaks religion and politics in the same breath. And she'll just whammy you with this conversation, and it's called ego death, is what it is, when you're not allowed to have an opinion or even have the brain to think. Lao Tzu's Art of War talks about mental wit is more efficient and successful and a better skill than mental strength. So, and that's just the bashing of the constant thing. And when they blame you for what they're doing for something, and they constantly blame you, they're doing it because it's called projection. They're walking into it. They're creating it with the constant repetition, the obsession, the immersion of this blame game. And it took me a while to. I wanted to help her get on Social Security before I gave her the boot. And I got her a house with my ex-boss in front of a wonderful private pool, and moved a few streets down with my daughter. And she's like, "I'll get you for this. I'll get you." And I was like, "It's a private community." And while leaving the Air Force, I was illegally, when I went to complain to EO, I was illegally ordered to mental health, at which point I was diagnosed in 5 minutes with bipolar and a quick phone call. And so I just wanted to go home, get my daughter back. It was very humiliating. And my mother hopped at that opportunity, very opportunistic, hopped at that advantage. Her father had beaten her violently. I was a psychology experiment where it was lies. My dad had a secret life. My daughter's dad had a secret life. And it was, I benefited by anyway. Um, tap, 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 like Jack Canfield said. This stuff is effective, this tapping. I'm happy, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm worthy, I'm great. People love me, I'm worthy, I'm a worthy person, people love me. I can do it, I can achieve my dreams, I can have the life that I want. And I deserve it, and I deserve it. Is my new father figure. Can't be blaming everyone, and I really don't want this video. He talks about how the story, keeping that story going, is the same thing as I just pinned on my mother. Keeping that conversation in the forefront, which meditation is wonderful to just give you some mental relaxation, peace, control over your thoughts, the mental discipline, and affirmations. This is why I love YouTube. So I just, I'd be very interested, because this video, its purpose is the public statement, and for me to cultivate some more public speaking skills. And the public statement Jack Canfield talks about in making things official as far as your goals are. I'm on the big island of Hawaii, which is more isolated than Honolulu, and I don't have a car right now. I repeated the pattern of my mother, went to Florida, for my master's at Virginia Christian Liberty Christian, and my daughter, anyway, and just repeated the cycle with, my daughter went to Christian Liberty here, I went to Liberty University Christian school, and private university online from here, but I had a graduate class in crisis counseling because I'm with the Red Cross on the disaster assistance response team, as well as a member of the Girl Scouts, which that's more recent, but I've done a lot of humanitarian work. That's why I got the retirement in the Air Force. I was in 6 humanitarian clubs. So and I didn't listen to, I was volunteering at the Habitat for Humanity before I left, and my boss there said, at the restore, and he said that he moved to Pensacola, and he did not like the prison system and came back here. So just the mentality, the corporate culture of the prison system. Yeah, so anyway, I just want to talk about, sorry, I just got sexually harassed again, is what happened. And I was going through a divorce. My mother hopped on the bipolar thing at first. Then while I was in the middle of my divorce, she went to my daughter's school and said, so just randomly just went there during the divorce and told the principal I have bipolar with no cause. And then just persistently kept trying to control me with fear, to create my worst fear. And that is why Jack Canfield says, feel the fear, act anyway. Feel the fear and do the fear and act anyway. And, but you don't really always know what is intuition and fear. You need to really, just scary stories of biblical doom and mixed with just dark, hateful speech. Make sure that you talk and get out and talk out of your comfort zone to build your ego, because that stuff is the S&M stuff, that ego death. The military culture has some weird stuff. You hear people talking when you're going through therapy on the way out. Different people have talked about an officer got an AIDS and he got to stay in. He gave a girl AIDS and she got kicked out. And so anyway, I don't want to so I said the conversation, now I'm over it. That's what happened. But so what I'm doing now is this checkup. And this checkup is seeing me grow better through applying Jack Canfield's principles. And to get to know me, I want you to know I have a birthmark on my eye. And, divorce, death, and marriage are the 3 biggest stressors in life. Or not marriage, divorce, death, and moving are the 3 biggest stressors in life. And when you're going divorced and moving at the same time, you can't have a mother jump on you and attack you, or moving to Florida and have a father days before you leave after you talk to your mother tell you that he doesn't want you and your daughter there. But you can. I mean, it happens to a lot of us. And also, when I was engaged to a billionaire heir of De Beers diamonds that I knew from youth, when I tried leaving my daughter's husband the first time, well, when I was engaged to him, I really don't know. I don't really want to get into all about him, but I'm getting stage fright now. Just getting very intimate. Very feel like people are gonna watch me. Excuse me. It's like getting like just telling you about things. It's the public speaking. It's really important for you to be able to be a good public speaker, and I'm not the best at it, but for me to talk about this birthmark on my eye and evaluating your self-worth, and Jack Canfield, oh, my dad, the wonderful replacement as a father figure to manifest and create a wonderful father figure for women out there. But you have to be careful because my dad stole my business plan for my insurance business plan. His name is Patrick Charles Burnell, and I married some guy named Charles. Les, and talking to my dad, these short, curt little phone calls every weekend, and you just get blind. You think your parents are perfect, and you want to believe them. And what it is like William Somerset Vaughn says, unreturned. He actually said he's a famous writer from the 1800s. He was the highest paid writer. He was actually homosexual during the 1800s, and he said that. Unreturned love lasts the longest. And I really feel that's what my parents, they were neglected. My dad didn't know his parents. They abandoned him, and my mother was beaten the way she was. And in order to harness love, they needed to really be conservative on their love. Like those coupon cutters on TV with their love. And here we are. And so anyway, and then within a year, his son-in-law to be makes $600,000 while my daughter and I remain impoverished and get more impoverished and end up back. So anyway, Jack Canfield is a wonderful replacement. And then we're back to my birthmark for a father, and in helping with self-worth. You see a birthmark on my eye? Because I'm going to put makeup on the next videos. And I'm actually have an appointment. My first quote was $700 when I was leaving the Air Force in California. I think this one's more like $3,000, but still affordable, and could have been done a long time ago. And I should just forgive my parents for not helping me do it sooner. My mother was a model that didn't make it very far, was sexually harassed, didn't like it, got a job sexually harassed, didn't like it, and then quit, got married, stuck around, was actually alcoholic. My dad's an alcoholic. So anyway, that's me, and I'm not going to say this story again on this set, but because Jack says just end the conversation, and I need to make this public statement that is my goal. That's what I have been working on very diligently to make changes and design instead of react, replacing memorabilia and phrases and things that stimulate more personal growth and my future and goals that I have planned. And in healing. Thank you. So, so my appointment, I've been doing lots of visualizations. I find the icons on your laptop really helpful. We're going to see how that goes. I've printed up pictures. I have vision board material over here. I went and got to Pier 1 and got some great bowls, and I stopped in there and touched them and feel them and smell them and clink them. And I picked out a business that I want to do, and it's I'm quitting smoking. I've lowered my nicotine a lot. I do the electronic vaporizer for about 4 years, which helped me quit smoking. I'm a writer too. I write as a hobby. I won an award in 3rd grade and beat out all of 8th grade, and that's when my mother. Of course, I'm going to say this. That's when my mother really had it with me. When I'm successful, my mother disciplines. 1st grade Catholic school, I was the only kid to get 100% on the entrance exam at St. Michael's in Orland Park, Illinois. And I got pulled out of that school right after that. But you know, it was weird. My 1st grade teacher had the same last name as her husband, her first husband, who I have a half brother and sister. And then my sister was gang raped. and after my mother abandoned her, and then my brother followed years later, full of long hair and marijuana, and from Pennsylvania. And so my dad did end up helping my brother, not as well as I think he could have. And my dad told me the day before I left to come to Hawaii, which I worked my butt off for, I joined martial arts. My high school boyfriend was had a police officer as his dad, and his mom was the school security guard. And he joined the Marines, following his father's footsteps. They were really great people. It was nice to have a boyfriend. But I did ditch a lot of school. And I also, don't take my high school diploma away, please, because I worked really hard for it. I had 4 gym classes senior year, which really helped. Physical activity really helps, because right after that, I dumped my boyfriend and I joined Taekwondo at Team USA Martial Arts. And I ended up training with the black belts as a yellow belt and moved right up very quickly, very grateful. But I did date. I did date another black belt, which was helpful. And then I got my way and got school to Hawaii, because it was like, where can you go to college? Anywhere you want. Where can you go to college? Of course, it was hard with my parents. After I won the Young Authors Award, and then I was best friends with as my mother. Just, it's emotions, and it's important that we realize we create with our emotions, and you can see the pattern. I've simplified it as much as I can, and it's good to just get it off my chest. It's really bonding, being able to vent, but it's very true to not immerse yourself in it. I can't say that. I mean, I forgive myself for not just getting my daughter and just leaving, because when we went to Florida, I got drugged at a local wine bistro. I left during the divorce. My mother made it so and the timing, because of my college class, she ended up joining school. Whenever I do something, she tries joining and doing it, and which is whatever. It's like competing salt and pepper at a Halloween costume. You and your mom. If I'm going to be salt, she's going to be pepper. That's what I expect. That's what I want. That's how I am. No, if I'm salt, she's salt. That's my mother. And so that's not me. So this conversation is done, because I'm not going to turn it back to me. It's my mother. But what happened in Florida, I got roofied. They didn't drug test me at a local wine bistro in Safety Harbor, Florida. They didn't give me a phone call for 3 days. And my mother tried having me, just the whole coincidence. Deepak Chopra talks about creating coincidence. My mother tried having me sex trafficked. It's manipulative. Jack Canfield talks about manipulative people needing to confront manipulative people. And this is what you need to do. So take action. He's right. Take action. So this is my first action. Somehow my mother has my daughter after they said that I had hit my daughter. This guy, he's one of the social workers. He's a Chinese ox. Okay, we believe in the Chinese zodiac here in Hawaii. It's in the public school system. So, and in this Aquarian era, this Aquarian age, where there is tolerance for spirituality, as I'm 35, I'm not sure what religion I am. I love the Girl Scouts. Was baptized Catholic. My mother changed me to a Christian school, or Christian. I've learned I've had friends in other religions. I don't know exactly, but I do know aloha is God and love, and all religions have that theme of love, and I really believe in that. And so full of aloha, I did. That is what I thought that I expected when I went to Florida. I met a lot of great people in Florida, but it was that pattern at work, which I was reading numerology and astrology, and it told me I'm a number one, and I read a statistic that a lot of CEOs are number ones, and I'm just looking for positive things to build myself up because I felt very low. And it was all on my own. And psychics, I tried two of them to compare them and they didn't match up. Debunking myths and seeing what had validity in this world and what didn't. And at least pertaining to me and what what I could believe in and feel strong with. And so my my mom, so during the divorce, they moved to try to get money. I really don't believe it was my daughter's dad as much as it was my mother instigating and manipulating, because he has a drug problem with a heavy opiate addiction and is low-willed. Though he can be over dominant and dismissive, he is very low-willed. And he's critical. He's definitely critical. I definitely got some roots from that criticalness. I went to a Reiki. I took I'm a level 2 Reiki master. It's one of my goals to finish that here. And the healing through the touching of the hands. And that's helpful. That's why I like Jack Canfield's touching technique. He said it's revolutionary and it can help. And bring you out of that. You have to practice it, but it does work. Because as soon as you start thinking like a thought from your mom comes or a thought from the past, and you're like, you could be like standing around waiting for something. I know I kind of look funny with this birthmark and not makeup on, but I just want you to see it because I am going to be. Okay, so the touching technique, is one of my goals, to keep that up with cutting down on my vaping. I went from the cigarettes to the vape for 4 years, joined canoe paddling. It was the physical activity that, again, really helped me excel. Like in high school, the physical activity, the martial arts got me that discipline, that help got me here. The military got me the discipline. But I really think my parents are more of the self-disciplined person than I leaned so heavily on it. Because not everybody needs to join the military to be successful. And so I had an eating disorder, which I cured through psychology. Every 1 in 3 college women have bulimia. Girls have bulimia. And so I approve of the vape. I right now don't see myself ever getting off of the vape. The vaporizer. What is it? So you can see it. It's I have some visual aids here. This may be going kind of terrible, but it will get better. No, it's not. It's not. It's perfect. So the vaporizer is when. This is the vaporizer, and it's down to 0 to 3% nicotine, which I started at 22, and I plan on quitting that. That'll be quit by the time Girl Scouts season by the time school starts in August. That is my goal for that. And then this was me. As you notice the intro at the beginning, it's a bit younger. I need to update my picture. I just got my hair done. My goal is to get my hair back like that, because the first time I did that, I was living with my mom, and it was gorgeous. I was in Kona. It came out gorgeous. And some manipulation, and I'm sure I had something to do with it, allowing it. I am grateful for my free will. I don't remember exactly, but I decided to save money. Guilt, that's what it was. And then I ended up frying it off with cheap hair dye. thinking, trying to save the money of keeping it up. So it took me years because I didn't have time to deal with it in the military and to grow it all the way out. And this is the first time, this is the first way I just got this done. So I'm working towards goals. I can have this and live the life of my dreams. I did do the blonde hair dye, not because Goldie Hawn. To me, the Ralph Waldo Emerson talks about leave a trail on your path to success, leave a trail, and her name, Gold Dye Hawn, is so funny. I feel like, you know, actors and painters and artists, they all have different, they create their image and their life and design their life, so that's just so exciting to me. That is a clue to success that Jack Canfield talks about, especially because of my birthmark on my eye. I try going all natural to be proud or whatever, but the feelings are there. And the same thing with the cigarettes and the nicotine. Not wanting to go out in the public is going to affect your career because you're willing yourself and telling in that conversation that you don't want people to know that you do this. You don't want people to know that you have this problem. I used to hunch over and stuff. That's why I joined community. Like, I sit up straight a lot more. But that wasn't Jack Canfield. That was Zen meditations, positive affirmations on YouTube with Alexander. I ams. As Jack Canfield talks about, I am is one of the most powerful phrases to talk yourself up. But that tapping technique, I don't know, there's a lot of, Oprah says a lot of powerful things. But that tapping technique, I do mind. I wish this video could be better for you. So I'm just going to keep practicing to get better talking. Because there's that book, Say Less, Get More, but I know that was my intro. So this was my before picture just last week. And this is me now. And I don't have blue eyes either. I'm actually going back to the brown eyes. But on a whim, I was thinking I was going to do Paris Hilton's famous for her blue contacts, and then Jennifer Aniston, and then Megan Fox. I was thinking of a Wonder Woman thing after being sexually harassed and having my daughter taken away. And the first time, what I did wrong the first time was not sue. I went to equal opportunity, and I could have pushed harder. But I just let them push me and roll me right out. So this time I'm telling. And that's what happened at the hearing in Kona with the divorce thing. My mom, it was like all of a sudden I just got silent and I couldn't talk. And I like, but it was too late. And the Chinese ox, which I'm talking about, like Oxford, you can see the symbolism, like the rat in the rat race, the Chinese rat. And then the horse, you see the bull is the Taurus, which is the Western zodiac. It's the same, it's the bull on Wall Street. It's the same symbolism, which I really believe if Michael Bloomberg ever or Oprah ever sees this, it's time to put her an aquarium statue up there because I am Aquarium. And I do mind. But anyway, I don't know how much I might, because I really don't know much about it, because I really don't know everything that's going on there. Thanks to Leonardo DiCaprio, who is amazing, pulling off that Wolf on Wall Street character like he did. He does that, pulls off these characters, and he knows they're going to lose, but he pulls them off to really get that across, so you could just, because he's so good at it and really triggers your pulls your gets you. He does it so amazingly, expertly, just fantastic, and gorgeous hair, and he really knows how to. If you're into astrology, then you probably know that I'm speaking a bit of astrology. Flattery is a bit of astrology charm, but he does. And then but you notice they lose at the end of the movie. So and he's great. Even Titanic, the guy lost, but amazing. So anyway, I printed up my first check, even though I was introduced to the secret in 2007. I'm suing. I'm officially suing. So I have this, and I have my house picked out, and I plan to move into a new house and homeschool my daughter, which has been a dream to me, because I did live in a I did live in a valley, a lush valley here. I did live off the grid for a while in a tropical, by a waterfall with rainbows, waterfalls, rainbows, and wild horses on a farm, a Hawaiian farm. Very gorgeous, phosphate heart shape. It's very enchanting. And so I want to homeschool her and innovate in homeschooling. And I picked out my business, which is going to be bonsais. And my bonsai business, I'm going to open in Kamuela on the Big Island and homeschool between there, because my daughter likes a little bit of variety. We're both like that. Tony Robbins, I've heard him mention you have to get to know yourself, and I felt that way prior. And Jack Canfield talks about it. It's not just this whole cookie cutout, pegging the whole thing, where it's I keep feeling these rushes of fear, like I'm saying something wrong or in the midst of. Anyway, so you have to know yourself to get through those patterns. So that's my check. That's who I am before. I've been doing lots of visualizations. I've been getting out, and I'm going to keep you posted on the results. Now, Jack Canfield talked about when he wrote his Chicken Soup for the Soul book that and please let me know if you have some comments on this, about some comments on this, as far as I've started my vision board, and I've worked hard to get over the guilt of money, becoming with the Christian influence, so I have some tools for that, but I have been doing the apps, like I had said previously. The apps on the computer are really helpful, because you can put the apps and cut out in Paint, and then you can even edit them in Paint and just put them on your screen, dot, 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 and fill up as much as you can, because he said he sleeps with, I'm in a vacation rental here, coming back from Florida, and I'm just going to buy a house now and homeschool and start a volleyball league. We do not have volleyball here. Homeschool volleyball, or a volleyball league that can compete with the schools officially. So I want to meet more homeschool people, and I want that started by next year, school year. And then I'm buying a new car, and I also have the goal of, because this Chicken Soup for the Soul book was it 1 year or 2 years? It's 1 year, 100,000. And then it was 2 years for the book, like in the millions is what he was talking about. Oh, how many copies he sold. Okay, I'm gonna have to revisit that part. Anyway, I think he made 100,000, but he was like a few thousand short, not much, compared to how much he was shooting for. He did very well, and his timing, as far as the exactness of his timing, I'm wondering. I guess I can be exact on my timing. I guess we can be exact. He said it was pretty close. So I mean, I'm really great with time. Anyway, and then self-worth was a big hit for me, having a psychology background. Though my experience was in crisis counseling, that's why I took up crisis counseling and was with the Red Cross. So that's why I went to try to get a job after I was roofied, I tried to get a job. I left that part out. Because I worked at the post office for a summer too. So I've worked with the government a lot. It's my pattern. Though I was often shut down by those "you can't" people, which were my family, the negatives, family members. Just stay in school, stay in school, stay in school. And you know what? My parents didn't go to school, college, didn't finish. So my dad, my mother never really commented, but my dad had mentioned it once or twice. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to show you a picture of my daughter. She's a wonderful, wonderful girl. And I adore her. Getting away from her family members. My daughter's middle name is Kauyo Nalani, which means it was picked by her dad's mom, who I was told was related to Don Ho. And I don't believe that that's too true now, because I uncovered another manipulation called the Holy Bible that isn't the whole Don Ho lie, where her dad was known to lie, and they were spiritual. They went to church, and they had a friend, Bibbs, Mike Bibbs. So you see these coincidences. Deepak Chopra talks about creating miracles in your life with coincidence. Well, don't let people create hell for you, and don't let you create your own hell. What happened was, Kauyo Nalani is, if you notice, it's I think it's having beauty in and out. So those are roosters up there. So just uncovering manipulations, confronting manipulative people, acting, knowing when you need to act. And right now my action is, to tell my story. My daughter's Kauyo Nalani, and Kau'i O, Kau'i O, like Goldie Hawn's name. Anyway, it's a poke. It's a personal poke at my birthline. So you have to just people manipulating you and manipulating the child. But the positive thing is I am an Aquarian, and I'm very humanitarian and true to myself. And I'm ascendant. I'm a Cancer rising, Cancer ascendant. So I'm the mother. I'm humanitarian, and I have an Aquarius moon. I know I said this was about Jack Canfield. I'm totally throwing astrology in there, but as I learned about that, Carl Jung used astrology to create our career reports. All of your career testing. All of your career testing is based on Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud's protege, and he used astrology to create those career tests. And you might not only astrology. There is a Mother Mary aspect to it, as he was searching for the anima and animus. But you need to dig your research some more if you don't already know that Carl Jungian collective unconscious philosophy, how we're all like, astrology to me is like we're all fruits and vegetables, or not fruits and vegetables, but we're we're plants. We're not plants, but we're we're grown the same way at different times of the different seasons for different reasons, which can be a pretty scary sci-fi movie or a pretty funny one. We'll go with funny. Oh, and I'm going to do a comedy stand-up show. I'm collecting comedy, and I also have some writing I want to finish. Jack Canfield wrote 200 books. 200 books, and I'm looking at my life like I'm 35. I had my tubes tied. I'm not going to have some more kids. This is my public statement of what I'm doing. I get out and tell who I can, but I'm thinking about changing my name. I changed it to Parker Godwin after my divorce, and it's a good name. I got it through a Cavalarian philosophy, the science of sounds, how opera singers can shatter windows and melt glass, is what I said. Now melt glass. So I just wanted, for that, it created more space for me to separate from my ex and the divorce. And then it was like, oh, my mother. And my mother has sent me to the hospital a couple times with these fear manipulations. Hell, the Nephilim, these angels, you're in the wrong side of the neighborhood. And we moved out, like, and some of the people she would attract, which I would attract, which was like around me. And then they're like, Carrie. Then when I was little, like I get here and my daughter's dad his mom is this Jabba the Hutt thing. She's a very big woman. And there's this, thank God for Harrison Ford, because when I moved into this place where I'm at now, this kid over here is like, my mom's friend came to talk to him and they're like, Leia, bipolar. I named my dog Leia. And she died of drugs, Carrie Fisher. You know what I mean? Like, I had Jack Canfield with him. And he's you know, I dealt with his manipulation. He's the same astrology that helped me really identify these cycles of people. He's close to my mom but far. He dresses like Jesus, looks like Jesus, but he's totally immoral. He's an alcoholic. He's totally drunk all the time. Gets out of his car with open alcohol. So I quit drinking. That was a sign to me because I did drink, which scared my daughter, and my dad was an alcoholic. And he is an alcoholic. He drinks vodka and screams, which I hadn't seen him in 8 years. And he screamed. He screamed at his friend on Mother's Day when my daughter and I went to visit when we were trying to move to Florida. He invited us for Mother's Day anyway to Naples, and we were in Safety Harbor. Then I got a house in North Reddington Beach, one of the best neighborhoods with dolphins in the backyard. After I continuously tried to submit work information that I was compliant and participating, because when I tried to get a job there, I brought my information, I solicited a job, I brought my information in, and and I got screamed and yelled at. There was like 8 or 9 people there. There's 8 or 9 people screaming and yelling, and so it was all just entirely. So my goal is obviously to break the cycle. I'm not going to get into all the details of everything because I'm talking with my lawyer, and it's just to keep everything simple now. I probably should tell because that's what I didn't do the last time. Okay. So what happened was I brought my information in some past work to provide and solicit a job, and he was inquiring me about my past work history and engaging me in conversation. And he was supposed to be my supervisor. He would have been my supervisor for child and families on opiates and drugs in the foster system for an internship. I was going to write it off as my internship because I do expect to get paid. But it would have been a job. And I just had my Christian ethics class, and the guy just stood up. His name is Claude Fightmaster. I'm sorry, there are these coincidences that Deepak Chopra is talking about. And Claude Fightmaster is it was like Claude. It's like Claude. And I'm reading some other quotes about using your intuition to create. And another thing was the guy that started it, who was controlling Claude, was David Chafin. And he was I'm sorry, I just get afraid. It's just gonna well up some emotions. And anyway, I said I wasn't gonna go through it all, but we were talking about my goal in changing those patterns. So I consulted Jack, and I've been pretty immersed in changing my name, Parker Godwin. So it would have been a good name to be a psychologist and finish college and be a doctor. So my daughter, because I fell into that pattern. Your parents wanted you to, and then your daughter, but I was not ever thrilled. I felt it was important, but I wasn't excited to learn what I was learning in psychology. And I'm not excited about rushing to disaster. So I've decided to not keep up my information with the Red Cross. That's a change I made. I've decided, the Girl Scouts, I want to do a homeschool Girl Scout troop and separate it into 4 quadrants. And I'll be the entrepreneur leader, and then we're going to have a cookie leader, and then we're going to have a crafts leader, and then we're going to have arts and music, or crafts, arts. And everybody gets to do field trips. Everybody gets to plan a field trip. I know I love field trips. So that's the plan for this next Girl Scout season. It's in August or September, but Jack Canfield talks about doing things one at a time, achievable steps. So I'm going to guess, this talk is being helpful, that when I do start forgetting about the dates, and that maybe it is a bit much, I kind of just expect me to just, I'm just focusing on the big one first, the big one. That's what I was thinking of covering my butt about feeling like guilt. It's guilt, it's not covering my butt, it's like feeling guilt about my mother's gonna blame me. I have to cover my butt, my mother's gonna blame me for her divorce. When I was a kid, I do want to say this. When I was a kid, she cut her arm open with my aunt from Japan there and put a piece of shrimp in her arm and tried to give me a disease. And I know I'm not alone on this. And I'm so grateful for Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler putting out that Just Go With It movie, where Jennifer Aniston played his ex, and she's talking about this, and he's just like throwing diseases, and he's like, "What, are you trying to give me a disease?" It was in his joke line. Like, he'd actually, got that material from somewhere. He must have seen it in the world. That's the feeling I get. I did not ever have a real psych evaluation until I was in Florida, so that's the good thing about it. And I see me just, no, Mom, I'm not a bipolar, tracking that, because I'm obviously focusing on other things, other things I'm focusing on, and I just, I still feel my aunt like manipulating me, like right there talking about that. Because I'm, working on my speaking voice to be better. And there's a little bit anyway. She lives in Japan, and anyway, I want to recommend another affirmation, David McGraw, Power Affirmation. Now he's great. He's helped me. You can change any negative thought in a positive. We know we're safe and protected every step of the way. Feel the fear, but do it anyway, is a book that I ordered but didn't follow through with. When I moved here, there's this beautiful waterfall short walk away, and I did achieve a goal. There's a cliff there. Then I had a nurse come. I ran into a nurse and her boyfriend and a couple from Chicago. And while I was walking up the path, it's a short walk right over here, about a mile. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful and lucky to be here. It's so beautiful. I just love it here. So happy to be home. I felt it was home, and I shouldn't have left my mom. I shouldn't have tried to leave ahead or leave here. Let her take everything from me. That's a boundary violation. And so psychology is helpful for the boundary violation, create space. And that's what Jack means when he talks about I mind. I do mind. You can't say, oh, I don't care, or you don't know, or this or that, because that's your ego, and your ego is yourself. Your ego is yourself. When you define ego, they show I. They put the letter I in the definition on Google, and so that's your ego. We have iPhone, and there's a lot of eyes up there. So you're attracting those eyes. So you can play with that to be creative, is what I'm starting to learn. To prevent masochistic behaviors, which can vary in range from extreme to not so extreme. My mother, it's a saving cycle, being the hero, being the savior, saving somebody from drugs and doing that. So I decided to leave psychology. I've really had my fill. And then writing is a bit too freestyle for me. So I really want to run a business. I've got several businesses and ideas. I have some other business ideas. I have a fashion line I create that's in creation and that I want to sell. I have some businesses that I want to sell because I'm very busy with homeschool. So with homeschool is all of these projects, my daughter is going to be part of these projects. And so I plan on moving, so the fashion line and the fashion line is and fashion line bonsai. I was going to do candles, but I just it's like I like candles, but it's a coincidence situation again. Intuition. I always make the right decisions. I always make the right decisions. I always make the right decisions. Oh, another shot at it. Oh, you're still on. How are you still on? I thought you turned off on me. I'm sneaking my vape. Uh-oh. Well, if you're still on, I'll try to cut and put these together. That about covers everything. I got my story, my past, and I let that go. I bonded. I named a few of my goals of what I'm working on. Obviously, to critique myself, I would say I need some more organization. I plan to get my hair finished in California. And I also want to get more into the vision board, get it off the apps. But right now my goal is to get my daughter back and I get this EO suit. So keep it simple, one thing at a time. You can do some other things, but small achievable steps is what I found to be very helpful with Jack Canfield. So I'm very grateful, and hopefully I have called and can't wait to have him come to Honolulu and meet the Girl Scouts. And because 80% of all Girl Scouts now are women business owners. So with that said, aloha. It's early here. I got up at 5 a.m. I'm going to go and look at, I have some paperwork right now. Feel the fear, do my public statement. I have this lawsuit, and everything's set up and ready to go, and everything's set up. I have some paperwork to do, and then I'm going to go and see my house, and I'm going to take action. And I'm going on a bus ride. I'm going on a bus ride, which I did yesterday, to see the shop, to see the store, and get the plans more clear. Because getting clear on what you want is actually the most valuable. And I can't stress this enough. The most valuable that I found. But thanks for joining, and I'm going to go see the house today. So wish me luck. Aloha. Good luck on your goals. And again, Jack Canfield is a wonderful father figure really listening to him has been really healing. And I heard that he's worked with his wife before as far as her getting some, because what is true, why we walk away, is starting this type of work. And I spoke with another life coach here, that psychotherapy can bring up disturbing things which make people want to run away. And that's why people don't like to go to therapy and stuff. And this is the same kind of thing, making you deal with yourself, dealing with your issues, dealing with things from the past, clearing the limiting beliefs, and building your self-worth and your belief in yourself, which can be scary to believe in yourself. And I didn't even realize how scary, but you know what I see when I jumped off that cliff, that beautiful waterfall, it was just beautiful, this beautiful cliff. And it was a beautiful jump, and it was very wonderful. And I saw the other women, they just went and they just ran. And me, I was like, now, I did do that once when I was 15. But when you got older and had some experiences, and so it's bringing us back. And they mention that to a place of childlike wonderment, where you're just not afraid. You're just embracing your inner child. That's important to me, is embracing my inner. That's what I feel, because as an adult, you're thinking, mom, you're thinking about this, these safe things, and then you paint yourself this way. And he talks about that too, where you're this type of mom, you have to meet up to this person's standards, and that's why it's like not your definition of success. And it's not illegal to take Jack Canfield's advice. It's another goal. Stop going. To take Jack Canfield's advice and be a homeschooler, and not going to get in a big, huge argument conversation over that, or change churches. Become Catholic, or it's like a huge emotional push for my mother. So you have to know that people are going to be there to help you, and I found that to be true. The right people have been there to help me. And I think that says a lot, because this is pretty isolated. I mean, well, the right people are there to help you. So, and then, we're being grateful and keeping yourself in tapping in that positive zone. When you start feel the feelings, it's big on feelings, and a lot of people, Tony Robbins and them, talk about it's your feelings. So feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Or not the book, but feeling fear, and that's one of his principles. And it's going to be a lot scary at first, because when you're feeling the fear, you're dealing with new issues. But actually, you keep trying and leaning into it. He says, lean into it. You'll see that some of the same stories keep coming up, and they'll make less and less sense, because you are making progress. And I like Benjamin Franklin. He says, to see with the eye of faith, you have to shut the eye of reason. So that whole conversation of reason, that's what meditation is about, to lean into it and just believe it. And so I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert, but I do see some progress. I'm very grateful. So I'm gonna put these videos, see if I can tape these together, because I think they might. They're still running, and I'm going to review this and see how much better I get tomorrow. And we'll do some progress and see the review. So, because I love me, and I'm worthy, and I love me, and I'm doing a great job, and talking to yourself like your best friend, going in the mirror and telling yourself that you love you, and I love you, and these feelings and this tapping helps. It helps me. It helps me when I'm at like a bus stop, when I see somebody where you don't want to backslide. You don't want to be that way. You're trying to get away from that person. You're trying to make the changes, but you're still seeing some of the same stuff. So you're not the same stuff, but so tap. The rooster says, "Hello, good morning." We have a rooster is. But as far as the zodiac and all that kind of stuff, for me, I say if you find something that inspires you and makes your heart sing, or is a soothing thought, go with that. But then you have to deal with your comfort zone. Now, it's your comfort zone that you need to get away from, which is causing you to not want to go out there and make changes that can be very scary. And so what I found helpful is when I get scared, just take a step back. I don't know. That's just what I do. I just take a few days. Right? Not take a step back, but just take a few days and create that space. Because in psychology, you need to emotionally process, because you're dealing with a lot more than you realize on different levels of your body. And then it's all coming up, and they say, like, in relationships, your husband will come home and he'll need like 10 minutes to talk about, or you can't talk because you're emotionally full. Your head is just like, you're going to notice that. You're going to be like walking around losing things, like, because you're so emotionally full, your brain is processing it. Like, what? How did that happen? Why? Because he makes a, because you do know, and it's coming out. Why are you mad? It's like I'm mad at myself, you know. But you have to forgive yourself. You keep hearing you have to forgive yourself. And I know. I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm a great person, I'm a great mom, I'm a great person, I'm a great mom, I'm a great person, I'm a great mom. So I'm just very scared. Just very scared. So but for the record, I'm not a rooster, I'm not a dog, I'm not an animal. As far as returning zodiac goes, you have to be careful because you don't want to grow into. So other people, so many read it, so many people are writing it. If you check, you can see what you're attracting. Because when you're afraid, you're going to attract something, and it's like, do you want to be a part of this? So for me, Tony Robbins says, "Be fearless," and I've been leading a lot towards that more than this field of fear. It's like feel the fear, but keep going. Just keep going, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just keeping going. Albert Einstein says. I'm not so much explaining myself as well. I mean, I'm explaining to myself, but I'm telling myself. Why did I just yell at myself? Wasn't that like I was just like mad? Like it's coming out when I said that. That was spooky. That was, I mean, I know what. And it's like, no, I'm not going to create some fear again. Deepak Chopra talks about you're not going to create your fears. You're not going to create your fears. You're not going to create your fears. But it's the law of attraction, moves circumstances and events to what we're attracting. And I did focus a lot on positivity. This brings me back to the coincidence, trying to like get to know and learn the law of attraction better, as far as well, that guy's name was Claude Fightmaster. It's like my mother, she was that bitter about me. Because like you're just gonna go on and on. Just tell. I just remember when I left the Air Force, I look back and I'm like, okay, you have to get some wisdom from this. What did you just learn? Because that was like, whoa. And I'm like, I said, listen to myself. People are a little fuzzy, which was like, don't get oversensitive. If, you know, with my eye or anything, you know, range bipolar. Right, and here I am like having, you know. And then I'm the Hawaii, I'm not the debater, I just go and shop. It's beautiful earrings from Nepal, some jade, and eat, get some nice snacks, go to the beach, swim a little bit, relax, play tennis, relax, play volleyball. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't drink anymore. I drank during my divorce, which was a long time, but I don't, I guess I can drink a little bit. I mean, I'll drink. I don't want to create something like I can't drink. That's another thing too, because Jack did mention that he has a thing with Lewis Howes about 30-minute or about quitting an addiction in 30 days. And it's like, I do like to go and have like a shandy or something like, you know, not like a light alcohol once with sushi once in a while. And I'm kind of like, so I just want to make sure that I do that, but and like for holidays, because I'm very festive. And it's a reward. It's exciting thing to do, and I'm grateful for all your love and anyone who's still listening. Okay, I will be here tomorrow. I will be here tomorrow. Okay, but I'm telling you, my self-discipline level is efficient, and there's quizzes on self-discipline. I'm not going to make it every day. It's not, but this is like a video journal of what's going on with Jack Canfield. And but I want to do at least 5 days. Okay. Because if I'm not on here, I'm going to be in my journal, which is I got this 52 list project, which is now becoming like a folder. But I do work on that a little bit here and there. It's a journal of just lists that you need to create about yourself. So let's do progress checks, 3 to 5 days. We'll do that, and then the journal. But I want to make sure that I'm getting something done every day. But if I need that rest day, it's important to take that rest day. Jack Canfield does talk about some people don't get to do a rest day until they're how old, and psychology says otherwise. It really does. It's, you know, you need to take a rest day. Nothing's that dire. You need to take a rest day. You need to take a rest day. So that's how you choose to live your life. If you want to tack on 200 books, you can tack on 200 books. But I doubt that's what it is. You can stop and take a rest day. You probably didn't mean that. You're probably just wanting to sound very smart. Well, he has this great journal to download, and I did download that and put some resources. Prepping, staying in your core genius, and then taking a rest day. He says some people don't get to take, where you're just doing no work at all day. So, Jack Canfield has helped me, but he has so many levels of help where you can see him for relationships or whatever. And for me, I'm using him as a father figure to help and encourage me and support me, because my goal, my purpose is to be a healthy, happy homeschool mom and help my daughter be successful in the various activities, learning how to make a website, learning how to run a business online and create fashion, do some modeling here, do some acting, sparking, kindling her fire, sparking, seeing what ignites her passion and her intrigue that she really takes to as far as developing a career, because I wish somebody would have took that time with me when I was younger, and for her to get clear on what she wants, because she likes a lot of different things, and some people are just like that. They just like a lot of different things. So I want to be there with her to help her, because that's how I had her expressive. She's half Gemini, and she's a bit she likes different projects. The Aquarius and the Gemini love to do different projects together, and like I keep at the field says, I don't care if it pisses anybody off, but that's what I see, that's what I think. And I saw it before I got into astrology. You're always running off doing different activities. So my mother is probably mad because she quit and gave up at this point, and at a certain age, and at this age with my daughter on me, and fell on the couch asleep, and now she just wants to Deborah. Well, I can't like say that because I'm the one that got roofied. So I mean, children get social worker said that children get pulled, but with the David, the guy, my mother's so spiritual, these weird manipulations. So and my dad there, and it's not the first. It's so anyway, the last time I made the mistake was I got married and decided, oh, you know what? Yes, let's run to. I'm a romantic. Let's run to Aruba and open a snorkeling business. So I'm not going to let these businesses go, and I'm finishing this one step at a time, one goal at a time, and I'm not taking on any more new goals. My writing is. And my main goals are homeschooling my daughter, getting this money from the lawsuit settlement, homeschooling my daughter, opening the bonsai store, selling the fashion business, selling the everything else I just don't want her to get. And then really into the satisfaction more than the money. So whoever gets a deal. And then I'm going to do some writing, sell some writing, because we have a week writing program in the public schools here in Hawaii, which I've talked to with someone. So my daughter could benefit a lot from that, and doing some innovations and being in moms magazines for innovations with homeschooling and building a volleyball team. And hopefully that will inspire someone to get someone to do a competitive sand volleyball league. Like that's the goal, that's the plan that they have in Florida. I mean, that was really cool. My daughter and I fell in love with sand volleyball and tennis while we were in Florida. Super fun, a lot of cool stuff there. And Safety Harbor was a great town. It was during the election, so it was the political level was high. So because that state is bipolar, so I've heard. You know what I mean? They're swinging, but I voted for Hillary. I voted for Hillary because this whole sexual harassment mumbo jumbo. I mean, I've met a lot of great men. I've met a lot of great women. Met a lot of great people, and it's unnecessary to have that cycle. And that numerology thing that I should be like own my own business. So my brother kind of had the same thing. He's also a #1, and he did a lot. And that worked for him getting his own business finally. So we're a bit different though. I'm a bit more sociable. Better judge of character, actually. He was drunk all the time. That's what it was. He was drinking all the time, and he ran into a partnership that went. So, and I guess it was running. It was bringing the family. So I get scared about marriage or encountering another relationship, though I do want to have a partner and a family and do this. And then I want to open a restaurant. I'm not ready to talk about that, but it's a restaurant. So till then, we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.